places, guys, so bear with me. I want to be able to capture a few. Cool. Okay, cool. So hi there, everyone. It's Samaya. Hope you're really well. So I wanted to do this video for people perhaps like you, particularly for people who consider themselves on a path, who you feel might have gifts and talents that you want to really put out there. Perhaps you consider yourself a bit of a visionary. You don't quite know how to ground what you know into the world and really put it forward, and really kind of want some guidance around that. And particularly the message I wanted to share today is around something that a lot of people who identify as just what I described, they experience a bit of an inner conflict. Okay, so and I'll tell you exactly what I mean. So oftentimes it so happens that people who are on a spiritual path, they're perpetual seekers, and they don't know how to really claim and embody what they already know and start grounding those tools, those techniques, those skills in a way, in a package or in an offer or something that would really help benefit another human being. Okay. And so what they end up doing is staying in that perpetual kind of seeking mode, thinking that, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to ground this experience. And I really wanted to come and talk about this a little bit today, because I feel like it's a real shame and a bit of a tragedy, really, when people are not making money for these incredible skills and tools and things that we know along a path. So, and really, if anything, especially when it comes to people who perhaps think a little bit too big and they're kind of creatives and visionaries and really don't know what the next path to take. Okay. So first of all, the main thing to say is that, and it's very important here, is that you need to give yourself permission to be a work in progress. Okay. So being a work in progress, however, does not need to contradict and come in conflict with you being able and ready right now to share your skills and tools and talents with the world. So give yourself permission to be a work in progress, to be to allow your visionary work to unfold over a period of time, yet know when it's time to also kind of stop and embody and just claim the wisdom and insight you have actually developed so far, and to really kind of start using all those skills and the tools that you've learned along your way, that you've invested time, energy and money in learning and growing from. So it's very important to be able to understand that you can do both. Like we are all as a spiritual entrepreneur myself and serving clients who are actually either on a spiritual journey or the kind of spiritual seekers, it's something that I really had to get like a strong hold on, and really to understand both can coexist and to really help support people in that process. And I really want to do the same for you today. And I want to share with you ways that you can do so. So the main thing I want you to understand is right now you've got skills, tools, talents that you can use and you can ground, and you can create a powerful offer to start serving people out there in the world. Okay. And it doesn't mean that you are stopping your growth or that you're not consistently evolving and that you're not changing. And a lot of people are scared of what that change might mean and how that will keep on shifting them. So they they end up not really stepping out there to put an offer out there or to really start serving people, creating a business and delivering results for people and holding space for them to create a transformation and benefit from the skills that they have. Okay. So, and this is important to understand, that you are able right now to create something of value that's going to start creating results right here, right now for people. And I want you to understand that although it might feel like a bit of a contradiction energetically, hang on a minute, but I'm constantly growing, I'm constantly evolving, I'm constantly seeking. How can I stop that? It feels like I artificially need to stop myself halfway to actually start creating and people feel like it's a facade when they start sharing something that they know, because they feel, I don't know anything, I'm constantly changing, I'm a constant like student. So you can still be an ongoing student of life and of the mystery of life and of all the spiritual things that you're learning and this sort of esoteric meaning of things, yeah. Yet, you can still choose to start embodying and ground what you know into something that's going to help others, yeah. So although it might feel like a bit of a contradiction, it actually is not if you look at it more closely. So I want you to picture it like this. So imagine that, that kind of constant wisdom and deeper understanding and insight that you constantly gain and grow from. I want you to see that as the largest circle, like the deeper container that holds your experience, okay? So that is the deeper container that holds your experience and from which you can constantly grow and evolve. Within that bigger container, you want to go into the center of it. In that center, there's a massive focus, and that focus is where your skills, your talents, your understanding, your grounded understanding, the all the information, the wisdom you accumulated from all that you've known, that sits there with your skills, all the tools you've known, the techniques, the beautiful learning you've had, your education, your life experience, the slaps you had from life, all that kind of stuff sits in the center. Okay. So that deeper, ever-changing circle of the deeper container from which you operate, that is constantly there and is constantly influencing you, right? However, you really always want to stay focused in what you feel to be embodied, whilst you also open to receiving new. Yeah, that inner circle, which is where you are, what you know now, what you embody, what your wisdom is, that is constantly expanding, right? In different speeds for different people, depending on our growth, our path, our soul lessons, all the kind of stuff that we're incorporating. So, and you can allow that to grow. Yeah, you can claim, and embody that knowing and that understanding and those skills that you have, whilst you're growing, whilst it's expanding. Okay. So you want to give yourself permission for that circle to grow and expand without losing sight of it, without losing sight of what you know. And really, you want to allow to be influenced by that deeper circle. But by being influenced by that deeper circle, that bigger circle, doesn't mean that you lose sight of what you know, what you've got. Yeah. So what a lot of people do is they feel they need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So because they're going through that sort of like state of change, or they're incorporating new tools or new insights, and they feel like, okay, so what does that mean about what I'm doing now, what I know? So it feels like people will refuse to kind of like put something out there because they feel like, well, it's going to change anyway, so why bother? And that is such a shame. And it doesn't have to be the case. Okay, so I want to give you a tip on how to start working with that change and how you can assimilate change in a way that doesn't really have to like shatter your foundation and what you already got going on. So say, for instance, you are a service provider that is working in a very particular way, and the way your journey takes you, you start taking influences and understandings that really shift and maybe challenge your existing belief system. And you don't know how to deal with that. Yeah. So the thing is that however, that you really want to keep on growing and you want to keep on evolving. So you want to kind of be honest about that process first of all. Yeah. And the way you want to go about it is you want to enter into a mindset of play. Okay, you want to enter into a mindset of play where you get to experiment with these new insights, perspectives, understandings, ideas, and play with those new energies and let them kind of challenge some of what you've known to be true so far. Yeah. And you want to give yourself permission to play, give yourself permission to grow, give yourself permission to change your belief systems, and share that with those around you. You can share that with your family, with your friends, with your immediate surrounding. You can share it even with your clients, right? To give you an example, I had trained a while back, like 10 years ago, I trained as a therapist. And I really enjoyed learning those tools. And I felt that that was going to become my foundation. But soon I started to experience that a lot of the boundaries that was put together by the BACP as the guidelines and rules that are essential for practice, they didn't always resonate for me. And I didn't see that being the kind of foundation of my work. Okay. So because of the how that was clashing with my values and my understanding and how I wanted to live my life and be with my clients, I realized, well, I can't then be a traditional therapist. So I knew immediately that although I had learned those tools, they needed to be more on the periphery and occasional tools that I brought into my work and help support and give me insight, but it wasn't going to be my focus. Yeah, it wasn't going to be my inner circle. So and what I needed to do is that understand that the new influences that were coming in felt much more fluid and much more experimental, but felt that resonated much more with the energy of how I wanted to work and my values. So meditation showed me, expanded my horizons a lot and my consciousness, and they started kind of changing me in a way that felt like really right and really kind of fun and enjoyable. And that shifted a lot of the perspective of how I wanted to work with people. So I started teaching meditation. I had spent the whole of my 20s in Buddhist communities. I had learned a lot around it, but I also know that I didn't want meditation to be the backbone, okay? And meditation was something that really helped me shift and change. But in a way, it reorientated my path. So I've given myself permission to play with the energy of whatever new influences were coming in. And over the time that I've done like a lot of healing modalities that I started teaching here and there, but eventually I kind of moved into the path of training as a coach, because the coaching model ended up offering me a really good backdrop, if you like, and foundation for me to play with all those different tools that I've kind of was learning, yeah, including the counseling skills, including energy healing, including all the mindset work, and of course, a lot of the coaching developmental tools that I learned through my coaching diploma, yeah. So it really created a platform. So I want you to think about, what do you want? What is your core skill, your core tool, the foundation? What sets the foundation that resonates with your values, makes you feel expansive enough, doesn't make you like feel that you need to constrict, yeah? If it's something that you use that feels a little bit constricting, not fully you might want to use it as an element, as part of your work, but you don't want it to necessarily be the foundation. Like I work with a lot of the people I work with, actually 3 of the clients I've had have been psychotherapists, and they ended up shifting into becoming consultants and coaches, because as much as they enjoy the psychotherapy model, they did find it constricting, right? And they wanted to work with a lot of other tools that did not kind of limit themselves to the psychotherapy tools, yeah. And so they ended up kind of like making that shift, yet really incorporating the psychotherapy tools in the work. So I want you to think about that when you start incorporating and learning new things, I want you to then go back to the core work that you offer, the core tools, and thinking, ask yourself, how is this new idea, this new perspective, this new understanding affecting my current work and the way I serve other people? Does something need to change here? Does something need to upgrade, or something need to be replaced in the way that I do my work? Does it need to change your entire foundation? That might be something that takes over time. Yeah. So don't feel like you need to make any drastic changes straight away. And really kind of allow shifts and understandings to really integrate before you fully shift something. Yeah, you don't need to throw the baby out with the bathwater, so you can still be serving other people with the core skills that you know now and that feel resonate with the way you want to show up in your life, with your value system, with what feels expansive, what feels playful, what feels fun, and what makes you want to show up and serve other people. Yeah, because I found that I enjoyed counseling and I enjoyed meditation practice, and I liked helping people around that with those kind of tools, but it wasn't really exciting me, and it wasn't really kind of bringing me what coaching does for me. Coaching is a much deeper container, and it offers tools for me to work with and help other people that really feel fun for me. If it doesn't feel fun and expansive, And if you'll, and of course, even work we love will go through its phases where it doesn't feel fun and exciting, or it will have its routine. Yeah. But that it's what you want to stick with. Yeah. So everything else you can kind of play with and incorporate, but you've got your core focus that is how you want to serve other people. So stay loyal to that, and if that shift is to happen, allow that to shift to happen organically, and really talk about it with people, talk about it with your audience, with your clients, and don't be afraid to make the shift. If it is more a kind of radical shift to serving in a completely different, unique way, don't be afraid to make that shift when you are ready with it. But you need to have played with it, experimented with it, learned from it first before you start implementing a deeper change. Yeah. So the way we go about it is we go and ask questions. We ask questions. How is this idea perspective? How does it make me want to change the way I serve others, or what do I want to incorporate from that? How is that shifting things for me? What do I need to keep? What do I need to let go of? But also stay focused about what is it from the way I serve now that really resonates for me. Yeah. And I want you to use that also as an understanding that, if you're not a service provider, but you're somebody who, you've got skills and tools that you want to help others with, but you don't know where to start, know that you can start from somewhere, start from what you know and that you feel confident with, and then allow for things to grow as you evolve and as you change and as you incorporate new tools. All these things you will be using as part of your toolbox. But you want to start from somewhere, and you want to start from what you know now. And it doesn't matter if you're going through deep change and if you're constantly evolving and you feel you're in this intense spiritual path, it's still fine. You still have skills and tools that you can serve people with right now, and that you can create change and transformation for others. So I don't want that to be an excuse for you from stopping you to really show up in a really powerful way for others and in your own personal life. Yeah. So I hope you have found this useful. I just felt like sharing this message that it doesn't have to be a contradicting energy, that you can still be on ongoing change, ascension, spiritual growth, learning your lessons, really going through, at times, people going through very intense journeys, yeah, through really deep life experiences. Don't let that stop you from, wanting to ground your wisdom, your insight, your talents, and really start serving other people. Especially the fact that you're going through intense journey can be very, very beneficial for people, because you actually know from experience what it can be like. For me, it was very important. I knew that I was not going to serve just in a mainstream way. I have my grounded tools around coaching and counseling and the things that I know to help people grow in themselves and in their business. But I knew that my journey, my intense spiritual journey, also had to come into my experience and in the way I helped other people, because I felt like there was a lot to share that was going to help other people. So don't let that die inside of you. Use that knowledge and that insight to support other people in a powerful way, and know that you can start doing that now. I want to let you know that I have opened up 3 spots for people to work with me at this point in time, particularly though people who are in the beginning years of their business, and they're really either starting the foundations, the very foundations, or the beginning first few years of the business, and they really want to get a bit of an upgrade. We're working towards getting you your first client or your next client if you're already kind of working with people. Yeah. So that's the focus of it. However, we are going to be really looking at things in a very deep way. We're going to be doing shamanic work, because I work shamanically. So we're going to be looking at all your sabotages, fears, and limited beliefs that are holding you back. We're going to do some work connecting you with your spirit guides and your higher self. So really deepening your connection to your intuition. And we're going to really look at all the fundamental things that you need to set up so that you get your stuff out there. And I'm not talking about websites and stuff like that. You don't even need that to start putting powerful offers out there. We're talking about how to set the right energetic foundations to put your offers out there, as well as, of course, putting some really good offers. So we'll sit down and think about how you can channel your talents and your gifts into really aligned packages for you that you're going to be serving your clients with. And anything else you need around your communication strategy, your strategy to grow your business, and really getting very focused around getting your first client. So this is going to be your first or your next client, yeah? So this is going to be work we do over a period of 2 months, but we're going to have an extra month of accountability. It's an hour and a half each session. And you need to be prepared to work energetically, as well as kind of setting the kind of foundations on a business level. And that we are going to really be diving deep, because that's the way I work with people, to really kind of start working through some of the obstacles that you're putting forward in really manifesting more in your business and growing it. And you have 2 months with an extra month of accountability, where we message each other and you can ask me questions and I can be there as accountability. But yeah, and that is, it's the last time I'm offering this price at $12.50, because my prices are going up. And I want you to know that, if you're at the stage now where you want to be getting your next client and you want to really be tweaking and aligning your services and your offers, this is a really good time to work with me if you want, because that price will not be offered again. It is very much, as I said, be prepared to work energetically and have an open mind about the kind of guys that we're going to be bringing in and how they're going to be helping you. Please send me a message if you want to arrange a little chat where we can talk about where you're at right now and what you're trying to create, and see if we're a good match to work together. Send a message below, leave a comment below in YouTube or in Facebook if you're watching. I would love to support you in that way. I hope you found this video useful, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye. Okay. Sorry, guys, this is taking a while. For some reason, my computer is crashed because I was trying to stream from a few different things. Jamila, I'm so glad to hear that you found it useful. Thank you, darling.